Whether we believe in our capacity for self-government or whether we abandon the American Revolution and confess that a little intellectual elite in a far distant capital can plan our lives for us better than we can plan them ourselves. You and I are told increasingly we have to choose between a left or right. Well, I'd like to suggest there is no such thing as a left or right. There's only an up or down.
It has been long overdue to expose the truth that the Democrats and Republicans are sucking the life out of America's liberty and usurping our rights at every turn. Now is the time to seize our civil liberties and take back our individual rights. Here on Southern Liberty, we will expose it all. With his musket on his back, the Declaration of Independence in one hand, and the Constitution in the other, here's your host, Roderick Threets.
Happy Monday, everybody. Welcome to this short episode of Southern Liberty this evening. We're gonna get you through here. We're gonna take it down through there and get you on up out of here kind of soon this evening. You know, our lovely co-host is not feeling too hot, but I'm glad she's out here in the building with us. Yay! She's in the building. So we're not going to hang around too long. We'll let everybody do the thing and get right into it. Again, and it seems like we're saying this more and more on this show. But I need to go there a minute. Prayers and blessings to the folks of Louisville, Kentucky, and really to the people of America in this regard. I mean, two mass shootings within a week of each other. Like, this is, but Kel, it's always April. Why is it always April? I think people have noticed that.
I think it's people are coming out of hibernation, basically. They're getting past the whole lack of sunlight, and they haven't quite gotten into the light yet because it's not warm enough in a lot of areas of the country.
I mean, come on, we've had the sun in the South for how long now?
Oh, yeah, I understand that, but you still have people who are still indoors because they think it's still cold out. You know, I don't know if lack of sunlight has anything to do with it. I don't know if it was just a long winter. I don't know if it's people are stressed out because they know something's wrong in the world. I'm not very sure about this, but I know that both of the last two shooters, the one from today in Louisville and the one from Nashville, both of them were dealing with depression issues, mental issues.
Mm-hmm.
Now, whether this guy was being treated or not, I have no idea. But I know that one of the news clips that I heard this evening stated that he had contacted friends and family, letting them know that he was that depressed that he was going to burn the place down. He was going to shoot people. Why nobody called the cops, I have no clue.
Yeah, but even in those cases, right? Let's keep that all the way real too, right?
Yeah.
When you call the police on someone like that, someone's going to end up dying, and it won't be a police officer.
Agreed.
That's the sad part about the situation.
But you know what?
But I don't want no social workers hanging out to do shit like this either, right?
Yeah.
That's where I'm at. I mean, it's, and I don't like to use mental health as a crutch.
No, but it's one of those things where if we don't handle mental health and mental health crises in this country, we're never going to stop the mass shootings.
No.
We're never going to stop it.
No, they'll only use mental health against people so they can't have guns.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, and we've seen that in this country. We've seen it happen to a pseudoscience, right?
Look at the red flag laws.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
So one way or another, we need to figure out a way to handle this so that people are not deprived of their rights, but that they get the help they need.
Right. Right.
Because, like I said, otherwise this is just going to continue. Excuse me. Because the gun certainly didn't get up on its own and walk down to the bank and start shooting people.
No, it didn't. No, it didn't. That's the crazy part about it.
Yeah.
I mean, there has to be better. There has to be better solutions. I mean, let me take that back. There are better solutions. They're not funded appropriately, and that's a big problem.
And see, the thing is I don't see that the solutions need to be funded. What I see is that the solutions have been there all along, and we've turned a blind eye.
Okay.
The shooting started. We've always had mass murder. Okay, I mean that's not anything new. All right. But this constant spate of mass shootings started back in, what, the 80s, the 90s? When did we start taking religion away from people?
In the 80s. Early 80s.
Yeah. Yep. When did we start isolating people and making them feel like they weren't part of our community?
COVID-19.
When you take religion away from people, when you start denigrating the family to the point where women don't want to get married because of, one reason or another, but they still want to have kids. When you start destroying faith and family and community,
yep,
what happens?
You have a huge decline in morale of society.
Okay. How can you refund that? That's the problem. You can't fund that. That has to come from the people themselves.
Right. That part, that's correct.
We have to be willing to actually take a hard look at this and form the solutions ourselves. Government is not going to do this.
No, they're not going to.
There's nothing it can do. And for government to step in and say, oh, yeah, we're going to fix all this. We're going to stop all these mass shootings by doing this and this and this and this. No, what they're doing is they're depriving you of your rights while telling you you're helpless to fix anything.
Yeah, that's right.
And we already know how to fix it. Yeah. We just haven't done it.
No, we haven't. We have not came together as a community. And when I was talking about funding, I wasn't talking about in the context of government. I was saying as far as the community is concerned, right? I mean, we do crowdfunding. We do that stuff all the time, like GoSendMe, things like that. We can set up funding for counseling facilities, things like that, as a community to help the thing run, right? We can do those things.
That's a good point.
Right.
And that's actually a great idea.
Right. But the question is, right, people, again, to get donations like that, it has to be politically motivated, and mental health is not a political issue. It's a humanity issue. Yeah. Right. And people will use it as a crutch. Right.
Yeah, they will.
And here's the thing, right? Even down to this whole thing where we're talking about trans and all this stuff, right? These people are preying on the mental capacity of these people to do these things, to make them normal, to bring them into the mainstream, right? So they are the kitchen table conversation instead of, you had a bad day, let's talk about it. Instead, we're talking about Dylan Mulvaney's. We're talking about this Jeffrey Marsh. We're talking about all this other shit at our kitchen table and telling our kids this is not what you should be emulating or trying to emulate, instead of you had a hard day today.
Yeah.
Right.
Or even better, what happened at school today? What happened at work today? Not just you had a hard day, but what happened? How did everything go? What'd you do today?
Mm-hmm. Right. That's exactly right.
You know, what went right with your day? And like you said, what went wrong with your day? We're not having those conversations. Everybody's sitting in front of the TV. Or they're in front of video games shoving food in their faces without taking the time to even think about talking with each other.
But go back to what you said initially, though, Kel. Right? Mm-hmm. Women, for one reason or another, want to have children and not get married, right? Yeah. And this is not a knock to single mothers, but let's put this in perspective a second, right?
Yeah.
We also have to remember, right? And this, I'm going to throw everybody off with this one, right? Mm-hmm. People focus on the single parent, the single motherhood rate in the United States, right? To point away and deflect away from the men's role in that. Now, with that being said, right, there's just as many single fathers as they are single mothers. People don't. Yeah. People don't see that angle of that.
No, they
right?
don't.
So,
no, they don't.
If a large percentage of those children are ending up in trouble, drugs, and in prison, the rate is just as equal with the single fatherhood rate.
Yes,
it's just as equal. So these two items, the item of single parenthood is mutually exclusive, right? What happened, right? We have again, right? We're talking about the accountability of women, you know, wanting to have children, whatever. Now let's talk about the accountability of men in this aspect, right?
Exactly.
Right.
And both are equally accountable. It takes two to tango.
Right.
You know, it takes two to make a baby.
Mm-hmm. But what they've done is incentivize it. And just so everybody know, we've derailed the conversation for the time being because this is just as important. This is just as important because we won't be here too long. So we just have to air this out. But the thing is that when they incentivized, right, the union and made it a lawful union instead of a union before God or whomever you worship, right? They made the incentive where it's more advantageous for a woman to divorce, right, and walk away.
Be a single,
yeah. They made it that way.
They did, you know, with the marriage penalties and everything else. But I also look at it this way. When they made it a legal union, they did what we had originally said, and they took faith out of it.
Yep, that's correct.
When you remove faith from the home, and when you remove it from the schools, and you remove it from public life, you're basically destroying one of the underpinnings of society. Mm-hmm. And what happens to a society that has no faith in anything other than itself?
Right. And what you've also done, right, you started making men softer than Charmin.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, because now, and this is not a knock to my men folk, but please understand, right? When they set this divorce thing up, and a woman could literally take everything the man has. How's the saying go? When you walk into a marriage, what you own, she owns, and what you're about to own, she owns too, right? Yeah. So that man has worked so hard for X amount of years. And then the woman walks away and takes half of everything. Even the stuff he came into it with, she takes half of that too. And his pension is liable for alimony and liable for child support. And people wonder why men get depressed.
Well, and it's not just that, but if he's lucky, it's half. Because I know there are men out there who have had everything taken. And there are women in the same boat. Mm-hmm. There are women in the same boat,
right?
You know, so but like I said, when you take faith out of the family, out of the schools, out of government, out of society,
right?
You removed one of the major underpinnings of society, and it ends up destroying it.
Right, and I mean, and the men folk, right? You're not skating by easy on this either, too, buds. You guys have been in I'm not trying to minimize it, right? But men have also been taught, right, that it's easier for them to walk away.
Yeah.
Right? It's easier for them to walk away from a child, from a family, right? With little to no accountability, right?
Yeah.
That has to stop too, right? Yeah. Because the thing is, when them people catch up with you, man, them people not only gonna backdate that child support, they're gonna do everything they can to make sure you heal, right? Yeah. And then you're gonna be paying a lot more for running away than you would have been staying right there in it, right? But men think that, I can get away from it now and duck and run and whatever. I'm legit. That's the wrong mindset. And then now the government is stepping in on behalf of the woman with a cactus with Vaseline on it, ready to do you in. And now you're depressed because they're taking 60% of your pay, right? See, so it again, like Kel said, right? Taking the faith out of family, right? And basically making marriage a legal tool, a legal money laundering tool, basically, right? Yeah. Anybody with common sense would be like, it's more beneficial for me to stay. And it goes back to that other old saying, right? Old Southern saying, right? It's cheaper to keep her, huh?
I'm pretty sure Brian is agreeing with that one right now. It's cheaper to keep her. I mean, bless you. Figure it's, almost 34 years of marriage. Yeah, it's cheaper to keep her at that point.
Yeah, and it is, right?
Yeah.
But and this all leads back to these unstable young men, right? Because they haven't had stability in their lives. Yeah. And they run around and they do things like pew places, right? Because look, let's really think about this. When's the last time you seen a mass shooter over 30?
Yeah, that's a great point. Aurora, Colorado? It was just outside of Denver. The Muslim man who shot up one of the grocery stores. And that was
King Super?
2 years ago, 3 years ago?
Yeah, but he was under 30.
Was he really? 20s. I thought he was 31 or 32.
I think he was late 20s. I'll have to look real quick.
Okay, I thought he was older than that, but that may be my bad. But that's the only one that I can think of offhand. I'm thinking it was in the Aurora area. And what is it with the water out there? My God, you guys are breeding serial killers like nothing. Or not serial killers, but mass murderers. I mean, the kid that was just arrested for talking about shooting up schools and that was from that area. And that was within the past 5 days.
The King Super shooter was 24.
Was he really? I thought he was older than that.
Well, actually, no. He was 22 at the time. He is now 24.
He's now 24. Okay, that's my bad then. I thought he was older than that.
No, you're legit. And that's the thing. Just like this, the Edwards girl. She tried to say, "Oh, it was DeSantis, and he did all this, that, and the third." And it's like the kid typed, "I want to go after the school, man." What? Yeah. Oh no, it's DeSantis' fault.
No.
What?
Yeah. How crazy is it that we're blaming politicians for the instability of our members of society?
Right. And I want to make another point, too, just so it's clear. Mm-hmm. It's crystal, right? Mm-hmm. You can have 1 million laws to stop guns.
Yeah.
Right? Here's the harsh reality. Criminals, people you deem mentally deficient, will find a way to get guns. I mean, shit. Let's keep it real. They can't catch fentanyl coming across the border. You think they're going to catch a gun coming across the border?
Right.
Let's keep it G.
Yeah.
Right? You can have 1 million gun control. You can't have a single gun or a bullet. I bet you if you go see Paco and Pedro down in Ybor City, Florida, which is just inside Tampa, you can go get you a John.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You go down to Miami, right? You go see Fidel's younger cousin twice removed and get you a John, right? This is what these people don't understand. You're not going to stop a criminal, right? Laws don't stop criminals. I'm tired of people with this stupid ass argument thinking more laws is going to stop a criminal. They're criminals because they do not abide by the law.
Yeah. The only people that gun laws are harming right now are the people who abide by them. The only people that are affected by gun laws are those who abide by them.
Look.
You know, and it's one of those things where and we've said this on this show before. These are Jim Crow era laws, and they keep getting increased, and they keep getting piled on, added to. Why is that?
Yep. That's right. That's exactly correct. I mean, they want to talk about antiquated laws.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The GCA was what, 1967? Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah, 68.
GCA was 68. Now, historical context, people, since Kel went down Jim Crow route, let's go back the onset of Jim Crow when we're again talking about quote unquote the black codes, right? When quote unquote melanated folk was freed from chains, right? They were scared, right? Watch the dichotomy here. I want y'all to hear the dichotomy here, right? Soon as the melanated folks was released from shackles and allowed to roam around free, what did they do? They instituted gun control laws in every single southern state because they were afraid that these melanated people were going to come after them with guns. Now let's get through Jim Crow a second. Right? Civil Rights Act was signed in 64 and 65, right? There was two, right? And 68, my bad. And there's one in 68 too. And what did they sign in 68? The Gun Control Act of 68.
Yes.
There was something. Go ahead.
Now there was something similar that was introduced in 1962 or 63.
Correct.
Okay, so it wasn't just the Gun Control Act. There were two of them in the 60s that really affected the entire United States.
Yep.
But yeah, the GCA is the one that really, the Gun Control Act, because that kind of carried through with the Federal Firearms Act.
Right. That's right. That's exactly right. And that's the thing. Now they figured out how to control all of the people.
Yeah.
Then they say, okay, half the country don't like melanated people, so we are going to let them get guns after they get free again. But people didn't understand that it was going to affect them too.
Yeah.
And they just went along with it. Oh, yeah, whatever. Yeah. Now we're at a point in our country. You say you have a gun, you're liable to get shot.
Yeah.
Philando Castile. Right? I mean, this is how soft we've gotten. I'm sorry. Which one are you going to sacrifice? Liberty or security? Which one you aiming for?
Yeah. The government is not there to provide you with safety or security, folks. They're there to secure the borders, not your person.
No, watch this. Timothy McVeigh, right? I'm going right down. I'm going right on down here with it. Timothy McVeigh is the poster child for what happens if you restrict guns. Yeah. He drove a bomb into a fucking building.
Yep.
You can take away all the guns you want. If someone wants to commit mass murder, guess what? They're going to make a bomb and drive it into somewhere. Look what they did to Senate building. Hell, some people will use airplanes for bombs.
Go back even earlier than that. The daycare center out in California, and I can't remember if it was Los Angeles or San Francisco. There was a daycare center out there in the early 80s. I believe it was 80, 81, somewhere in there. The guy went through and killed a bunch of kids with a machete.
Yeah, that's right. That is exactly right. Yep.
The problem that people do not see is that murder happens. The tool does not matter. It's the person wielding that tool.
Yeah.
If someone can go into a daycare center with a machete and just start lopping heads, what do you think is going to happen when you start banning guns completely?
Mm-hmm.
Are we going to ban knives next? Scissors, maybe?
Yeah. That's right.
Hammers? Because I can do some damage with a hammer now.
Yep. I mean, look. A guy. Matter of fact, speaking of that, you just brought up something. I was reading the other day. A guy in Brazil went into a daycare center with a hatchet.
Yeah.
Right.
And just started laying about himself, and it happens, folks. Like I said, it's not the tool, and we need to stop looking at it that way. It's the crazy who decides to go out and kill people.
Yeah, I mean, so I just want these gun control people to understand, right? And look, let's look to the Middle East again here, right? You got children 10, 11 years old wielding fully automatic AK-47s. Never been a single school shooting. Never been a single one.
Same thing in Africa.
Yeah. Never had a single school shooting. But you had bombings. Why?
Oh, yeah.
Because they know if they're going to walk into a place with a gun, somebody's going to turn that gun on them before they get the chance to shoot anything, and you're going to get messed up. They want to do it in so they can become a martyr, right? So what they do, they strap bombs to their chests. They throw bombs in the schools, right? This is where we're going to get without the guns, and it's going to be worse because you can't detect a bomb.
Yeah. Not without some really expensive equipment that, hell, they don't even want to put metal detectors in schools. Why would they want to put bomb detectors? Right.
But this is what these gun control advocates do not understand. You're just going to take the gun away and think, oh, we're safer now. Then next you know, boom. Then what?
Yeah.
Then what? Then what are you going to do? Oh no, we got to have bomb control. What you going to do? We got to get rid of all the fertilizer.
Yeah.
We got.
Well, no, they've already restricted that to the point where it's hard to buy.
Yeah, we got to get rid of at this point ethanol.
Mm-hmm.
Right. What people don't know is I mean you can literally. I'm not saying this out loud, but you know what I'm saying. You can find a blueprint for yourself, but you can make a bomb out of ethanol if you got enough corn.
Yeah. You know, it's really funny. It's really funny. People don't think. They think that firearms are the only weapon out there. They don't understand that anything, up to and including a pencil, can be a weapon.
Well, look, just last year, right? Over in Thailand, right? That ex cop went on again a daycare massacre, right? He killed 24 people. In a gun and knifing rampage. He went cray-cray. And Thailand probably has some of the strictest gun laws in the world.
Yes, they do.
And this guy was gonna just run through, pop, 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 stab, stab, shoot, 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 shoot.
Yeah.
Y'all gun control advocates make no sense. You make no sense at all, period.
Yeah. In spite of what you believe are common sense laws, they're not common sense. Not at all. Common sense is keep your finger off the trigger.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't want to own one, don't. Nobody's making you.
No. But we refuse to be sitting ducks.
Yeah.
And that's it. But anyway, we spend enough time on that. We're going to breeze in because y'all know this is going to be a short one here. We got probably be on probably another 15 minutes. There's going to be no commercial break on this one. So we're just going to run this on out.
Yeah, because Mama's not feeling good today, guys.
Tennessee, Nashville has appointed Representative Jones back to his seat in Tennessee. Mm-hmm.
Did they give a reason for reappointing him and not Pearson?
Well, that's Memphis. I don't know why Memphis hasn't done their thing yet. But we apparently the Nashville Metro Council had already, the day he was expelled, had already planned a meeting to appoint him. So,
wow.
So they already knew it was in the work.
Yeah.
Memphis, I haven't seen anything on Memphis yet on what they're doing.
They may wait to hold a special election.
Well, here's the thing, right? I mean, yeah, they could wait to the special election, right? And here's the thing with Nashville people. Nashville still has to have a special election for that seat. And this is just, I want people to understand. So, quote unquote, right? Y'all know we talk, when we talk about this, we talk about process. We don't talk about what y'all feeling or how y'all feel about it. This is the process. This is the meaning of things. Follow and trust the process. There still has to be a special meeting. Now, Republicans, if they can, they're behind the 8 ball because of what they've done in the district he represents. But if they message correctly, again, right? If they message correctly, they could steal that seat. But Republicans will not go down in that area of Nashville, which Jones represents. Yeah. Right? They won't do that unless it's a quote unquote black Republican. Right. And even then,
but even then, it's going to be a hard fight. Mm-hmm. It's going to be a hard fight because that district, they're looking at it from the standpoint of, we don't understand why you decided to go after him and expel him from the Congress when there were others out there who were doing the same thing. They just didn't have their hand on a bullhorn.
Yeah. There was one other, and she cried, "It's because of white supremacy I stayed."
Yeah.
You're owning the white supremacy, man? I wouldn't own that wide open front door. Come on now.
Right?
I wouldn't own up to that at all. Like, okay, maybe it was white supremacy, but I'm not going to say it in front of the camera. It was white supremacy.
Yeah.
And you know, the funny thing is, I looked through comments on Twitter and Facebook about that comment. People are like, well, you know, I mean, at least she admitted it. At least she admitted it was white supremacy. I can't knock her for that. And I'm like, but y'all the ones talking about fight. Y'all ain't mad. Y'all ain't mad. Wait a minute. Wait.
Yeah.
Y'all mad at Republicans for expelling them because it was white supremacy. But the white girl that coaxed them into doing that admitted it was white supremacy that kept her there. She's white and you're not mad. The fuck out of here.
Now, I have to question her as well.
I can't make it make sense.
If you know it was white supremacy that got these guys expelled and kept you in your seat,
Jesus.
Why did you not resign your seat?
Oh, Lord Jesus, I can't make it make sense.
No. Why did she not resign her seat if she knew it was white supremacy? Unless she is a white supremacist.
I'm just saying, but she's their white. Wait, hold on. hold on. Isn't this how the Democrats roll? We don't like the Republican type of white supremacy. We like the Democrat form of white supremacy. Like, we'll call out the Trump white supremacy, but white supremacy got two of your guys in the hot seat. Right?
Yeah.
And then it was admitted to you it was white supremacy, and you still, yay, Miss Johnson, thank you for calling it out. Bitch, I can't make this shit make sense, yo. I can't make it make sense.
Yeah.
I just can't. Oh, God. Jesus. Ooh. I can't.
There, it just... something in the water. I just...
The water,
I don't know what is going on. Well, look, I mean, that's the only way I can explain it right now because people have gotten damn plumb stupid.
It is the water.
Literally
it's all
across
it's
this country.
Look, it's the water, right? Look, watch this. First, it trickled. See, I think it trickled down to Mississippi.
Okay.
Right? I mean, because remember, we had that radioactive spill in Minnesota. Minnesota is right on the Mississippi.
Several months ago. Yes.
Right. So it's seeped into the soil, got to Mississippi. Mississippi is responsible for a whole lot of water distribution down through the eastern side of Mississippi, the Mississippi River. Right, into its tributaries. Could have gotten in the Tennessee River. I don't know yet. You know what I'm saying? Somebody needs to check Tennessee, check on Watts Bar out there, make sure the nuclear power plant out there ain't leaking nothing, because I mean that's right on Tennessee River. You know what I'm saying? And all that water goes right into Nashville. I'm just saying they might want to check a little sip of that water, put a little strip in it. You know what I'm saying? Check the strip, the strip thingy, and be like, and make sure the water, because I mean these folk right here going plumb crazy.
Somebody put some extra stupid in the water supply, and it's really showing lately. And I don't know what to think anymore. I honestly don't. We have people who are losing their ever-loving minds over the smallest things.
And think they're educated.
Yeah.
And think they're educated. Right? Yeah. Like it's like people, here's the thing, people. And I think I touched on a little bit last night, but I'm going to go here just like this, right?
Okay.
The Constitution is a legal document. It's a legal contract between government and the people. The language in the Constitution has a specific meaning.
Yeah, it does.
On purpose. It ain't show everyday common English words that mean what's in there. Again, legal definitions and common use definitions are two different things. People need to stop conflating that. Number two, if you do not understand the division of powers, don't try to talk about no constitution of the federal constitution supersedes the state constitution, because that is a whole bunch of bullshit.
Yeah.
On its face. If you knew anything about division of powers, you wouldn't say something that damn stupid.
Exactly.
Right? Because if anything, the federal constitution has nothing to do with the 50 states. Because at any given time, 38 of those 50 states can say, no, fuck that constitution.
Yeah.
But these people are so pigeonholed into the federal government supersedes it. No, shut the fuck up. Just shut up. Just shut up.
Yeah.
Y'all dumb y'all sound right now out here. Like, what? Did you forget the division of powers? Enumerated, concurrent, and reserved. Do you not understand the federal constitution separates those three powers for a reason? Because if it wasn't for the 50 states, there would be no federal constitution. There would be no federal government. This isn't a top-down scheme. This is a bottom-up scheme. But they got y'all thinking it's top-down because you're not able to make decisions for yourself or sort out your own affairs because you have gotten lazy. You have gotten very lazy in life that you can't sort out your own affairs. You scared to Run, they tell you can't get rainwater. Huh? You scared to put a bucket in your backyard to get rainwater? I might get $100 from you. You better put that goddamn bucket in your backyard and capture some rainwater to water your plants, fool, or you ain't gonna have no food. What you talking about?
Well, and that's the thing that people are looking at. We're not being, I want to say ruled, but that's basically what it is. We're not being ruled by an actual elected government. What we're being ruled by is appointed and hired bureaucrats.
No. Appointed and hired thugs. Just keep that shit all the way real. They're thugs.
Well, they're thugs.
Right?
I mean, when the EPA goes out to a farmer or a rancher and says, well, we have to regulate your pond, it's a stock pond. What the hell are you regulating it for?
Mm-hmm. Or when they go out and tell you, the USDA goes out and says, you need to burn this much of your crop.
Yeah.
Or
you
else.
Need to till it under. Yeah, or you need to till it under.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or else. The straight thuggery of this federal government, and people are still, oh, yes, a massa federal government. Yes, a massa.
Well, and it's not just at the federal government level, though. I mean, you look at the state governments, too. They're doing the same damn thing.
Mm-hmm. But at least
they are actually doing worse because they're allowing the federal government to stomp all over them.
Yep, that's exactly correct. That's exactly correct. But look, prime example of that, right? Prime example will just happen in Missouri, right? With that prosecutor.
Yes.
That guy was out on bond, should have never been on a bond for armed robbery and killed somebody.
Yeah.
Huh?
I can't remember her name, the one in St. Louis.
Yeah. Oh, no, I can't. She needs to be held accountable. Well, you told her not to hold him accountable.
Mm-hmm. She was just following the letter of what y'all wanted her to do.
And now y'all want to throw her under the bus.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Y'all got some nerve.
But I thought y'all said that's what you wanted.
Mm. Especially because their carceral system is so against.
Mm-hmm.
Right? They're so against the melanated people.
Mm-hmm.
This whole top down scheme, y'all, is garbage. We got to restore the bottom up scheme. Bottom up. Us and then them. It's us versus them, regardless of how you say it. And all you that side with the statists that are think the federal government is supreme, I'm sorry, I got a nullification switch for you. Mm-hmm. I got a whole nullification switch. Because one way or another, we will cleanse the evil and the anti-liberty folks and straighten them up. I don't think that's even possible, though. That's a tall order.
That's a very tall order. Unfortunately, it's going to have to happen sooner or later, though.
Yeah, they're not. And you know what the sad part about it is? And I was thinking about this the other day. How does that even happen? Because these statists, these Fabian socialists, these people that think the federal government is God, has been indoctrinated into this since the turn of the 20th century.
Yeah, they have.
Right? When we started seeing this shift of progressivism, right, and communism merging, shaking hands at the Harlem Renaissance.
Yeah.
Right. And further perpetuating the Jim Crow. Mm-hmm. And all that stuff. And then subjugating other ethnic groups in this country to their will so they won't step out, but turn around, right? But turn around and pit them against each other.
Yes. Yeah.
So they can continue
and
what they're doing.
that's the thing that I think most people aren't really looking at is the fact that we are being pit against each other by the government itself.
Mm-hmm.
And if you guys think that Jim Crow laws actually went away, no, they just broadened out. They cover the entirety of our culture now, our society and culture. They don't just cover one portion of it. You
Yes.
look at it. What do they want you to do? They want to ban guns. They want you to be defenseless. They don't want you to drive a gasoline-powered vehicle. They want you to spend a hell of a lot of money to get an electrical vehicle that they don't have a power grid set up for. They don't want you using gas stoves. There are states now that are banning it. Or other gas appliances. Oh, because, someone might have asthma and it might affect them. Yeah. Pull the other one. It's got bells on.
Hey, look.
They don't want your families to be families anymore. They don't want you having kids.
Mm-mm. They even pay you not to have kids. They
Yeah.
pay you to get rid of your kids.
Yeah.
Here's the whole thing. We got to roll out because I
Yeah.
know you know the thingies you got going on over there.
Yeah. I'm exhausted right now. I'm about to fall asleep over here.
Here's the thing, right?
Yeah.
That whole anybody that is a statist, anybody that even aligns with big government suffers. They all suffer from Dunning-Kruger.
Yeah.
They all suffer from Dunning-Kruger because they think they are experts on something they may have read a little bit.
Yeah.
Right? Gun control being one of them.
Yeah.
Right? The Constitution being another.
Yeah.
Right? And I can keep on going down this pike, but see, those people that suffer from the Dunning-Kruger, the one thing they are good at explaining is socialism.
Oh yeah. Well, everyone is so hysterical about. Well, we need to learn history. We need to learn our history, as far as being black is concerned. We need to learn the true history of slavery. We need to learn the true history of this and this and this. Why don't you want to learn the true history of gun control?
Because.
Why don't you want to learn the full and true history of control of nations under socialism?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep. That's what I'm saying. That's all we're saying. We're going to do the things. Hey, appreciate you hanging in there with us. And I appreciate everybody chilling out with us this evening. Make sure that you guys come through tomorrow night for the experience today with me and Ms. Val. And again, I'll say what I always say every Monday night. I don't know what it's going to be till she tells me tomorrow. So we're going to figure out, we're going to do the things. Make sure you stop by. Share the show, all that good stuff. And if you're not part of the Southern Liberty family, go ahead and swing on through patreon.com/TOLM. Until next time, life, love, liberty, and happiness. Peace.
Thanks for listening to the Southern Liberty Podcast. If you enjoyed this episode and you'd like to help support the podcast, please share it with others. Post about it on social media. Subscribe to our Patreon at patreon.bpmg.us or leave a rating and review on iTunes. To catch all the latest from Roderick, you can follow him on social media at manofjustice007. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time.